Hello, hello. Okay, in a different setting today for my video. Have you felt a shift lately? Because I know I have, and I know lots of people have, and we are shifting. We are getting rid of the fucking snake year, all the things shutting, going away, and we're coming into the new fire energy, the fire horse new year, which officially begins on February 17th this year. And I'm sure that you've heard, if you're in this world, you've probably heard a lot of people talking about it. If not, if you're new to this, ultimately, cosmically, things are shifting. And even down to like just some of the shifts that have been happening lately, where the planetary positions and everything are in positions that they have not been in for about 165 years since the American Civil War, and take from that what you may, with some parallels in terms of things that are happening societally, is that a word? I don't know, but that are happening in our world. And I'm not here to talk about that, but just to point out the shifts, the global shifts in the energy. And, believe in it or not, you can't deny some of the things that are happening. And that's why I asked, have you felt a shift? Because I definitely have. In fact, last week, it was really profound, actually. I think I was in a meditation. Maybe I was getting ready to sleep. I don't know. Like, I don't actually remember, which is such a weird thing. It's weird to even say it here because I don't remember the details, but I remember it happening. Like, I was conscious, but it was just like this underlying, like, ooh, like I felt something physically change in my energy in that moment. And it was in the midst of, like I said, doing a meditation. But I think it was actually, like, the timing wise, when I looked at it, it was when these things were happening. So anywho, I just wanted to kind of share that, because I think that it's important, because so many of us, because I felt this last year too. Last year, really, we were called upon to shed the things that were no longer working in our lives, in our businesses, with our money, in our relationships, because as things move, the energy is going to just pick up. And I guess as I have it, a lot of what I talk about and what I teach is helping people to bring more ease into their lives and their businesses, to actually have joy in your life, not just success on paper, not just money, not just lots of clients, but actual happiness and joy while also having those things. And last year, I think many of us felt that. And what I believe is that those that really started to feel this, it's because you're ready to make these shifts as we move forward in this new energy. And it's not just this year is just the catalyst. Like, it's the beginning of a much longer cycle. And even if you don't believe in all of that, because again, this is my beliefs, if you look at what's happening in the world, just like technology and everything, AI, things have changed, and the way we work, the way we function in society, it's not the same as what it was even 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, because I'm trying to think, when did like AI really become a thing, like, that's just in the hands of everybody? And it wasn't that long ago. And just look how much things have sped up. And I believe that, like, if you're using AI to create content and all of that, like, it's my opinion, but I think, especially if you are a personal brand, you're the face of your brand, that's not the use for it. But there are many uses, and it's going to change our world. It already is. I mean, they're using it in doctors' offices, they're using it, AI everywhere, and it's speeding things up, and it will eliminate jobs, but people still want human connection, and people are still going to have to work. We still need humans, but the way we work is different. But we've been programmed for our entire lives, for hundreds, probably thousands even of years, but we've had this conditioning of, you have to work hard in order to receive. I need to do more to get what I want. I need to be taking action. I need to achieve something. And that's even like as children, how we were rewarded. You work hard, you get good grades, you get recognized, right? You work hard in whatever thing, and that's how you get what you want. That's what our parents were taught, right? And for myself, like I worked like a dog. I would never say that. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I'm saying? Like I worked really hard in my career in the corporate world before starting my business, thinking like that was what was going to get me ahead. But what I ended up was it's just like I had the corner office, I had the job, I finally had the vacation time that I thought I wanted, and I still wasn't happy. Because the thing is those achievements alone weren't enough. And as society changes and less is required from us, because even if you're in your own business, like you don't need to do stuff. It's energetically you're going to attract the things, the people, etc. that you need to you. And you, in order to actually allow for that to happen in the way you want it to allow in and attract the things you want with ease, you have to reprogram yourself. You have to recondition yourself, your identity, your body, and you actually have to anchor in that new version of you who is programmed for ease. And I know for many of us, because myself included in this, that wasn't natural. And what happened for me was I ended up sabotaging myself multiple times over in, the last, I don't know how many years, because every time I would see the rewards, because the thing is you are rewarded like for this. No amount of strategy, no amount of working harder is necessarily what you need to change things, especially if you've started to reach plateaus in relationships, money, etc. That is not what you need. And for me, I saw that happening. I saw myself having my biggest months when I was working the least, when I was traveling, when I was having fun, when I was enjoying my life. It was the exact vision that I wanted. It was the vision that I wanted when I quit my job before this business even existed and moved to the Caribbean. But it didn't actually feel normal and natural. And I think that's, it's such a thing for so many people, because if you spent your whole life being rewarded in childhood, in your career, in your life for what you've done and being recognized for who you are and what you, based on what you've done, what you've achieved, how much you work. Now, as you're moving into the new paradigm, as I like to call it, of success, really of life, but of success, in order to actually survive and sustain that, you have to actually allow it. And otherwise what happens is when things start to be really easy and really good, it doesn't feel natural. And then you revert back into old patterns. And this happens with diets and weight loss. And I've actually maintained my weight now for about 5 years. I lost the weight really without trying. I made lots of changes, but it wasn't like I want to lose the weight. It was I want to take care of myself. And I've been able to maintain that. But with money, it didn't happen as naturally, reverted into old patterns. With relationships, similar things. And the work that I do with my clients really is looking at it from that 360-degree view of seeing like what is actually happening for you. That is, what is it that you want, and how are you blocking it? And oftentimes it really comes back to this, and it's not just like, it starts with the awareness, yes, but then it is really getting deeper into what are the patterns that you keep reverting to. Why is that? Like, yes, the underlying thing is that comfort of trying to stay in control in that achiever mode, because that's how you learn to get what you want. But there is, of course, deeper layers of how you actually reprogram that in a way that will last and sustain. So you don't just have your big months and then you tank back down, or you achieve the ease that you want, and then all of a sudden you revert back to having to like work like crazy in order to maintain that same income. And eventually what happens is it slows down, it stops, because you know that that's not what you want and not what you're actually meant for. And then you continue in these patterns, these looping cycles. So if this is at all resonating with you, I really, really invite you to join me inside the Unfiltered Collective, which is my free, right now, free community over on Telegram. And I'm going to be starting up some new things in there too that I'm sharing. So really, really would love to see you inside there. And there should be a link somewhere so that you can join us. And also, of course, if it is resonating at a deeper level and you'd like to talk about how I can help you to change this and to change it much more quickly than it's going to happen if you're doing it, you know, in the free group, of course, send me a message. You can do that on Facebook, LinkedIn. If you're in the Telegram group, you can send me a message on Telegram as well, and we can just see. I actually have some new stuff coming out. I do run retreats. I'm going to be running a few of those this year, probably in Bali, US Virgin Islands, and one other place that I'm not sure of. But then I also have, I guess it's not new, but my signature program that's going to be starting up here again in March of 2026, which you can get in later in the year, depending on when you're watching this as well. So send me a message. But either way, just remember, like, you are meant for ease. That is what you're here for. But in order to actually achieve that, in order to actually create what it is that you want, you actually have to anchor that identity in your body. And it's not about needing to do more. It's not about needing some other strategy. If you're experiencing these plateaus in areas of your life, if you are continuing to loop back and repeat the same patterns, the same behaviors, the same results, the same feelings, burnout over and over, we need to have a conversation. So I will talk to you, but like, subscribe, all of the things, and we will see you in the next video.